All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. This is JE Live, a little bit delayed. It's like I told you guys, we can't skip. You can't stick to a schedule over here. We were like, yeah, we're gonna go every Wednesday. I have a Yankees game this Wednesday, and then last week for whatever reason we ended up doing it on Thursday. So here we are. This is the JE Live that was promised, the weekly JE Live. We're obviously going to be going live after the Rams-Bears game this weekend, as always. After Bleacher Report's live stream is up, so we'll do call-ins and all that. But this one is really just about what's going on right now. And I think going into this game, you have to feel really good if you're a Rams fan. First off, very, very first off, you have to talk about the fact that the Rams, the only guy ruled out this week is Cooper Kupp. Now, everyone else on the IR, okay, those people are injured. It is what it is. But it seems like, and Sean McVay pointed to this, seems like they came out clean from the last game. The 49ers are having the opposite, and they're really banged up. Still, the Rams have those guys on IR. Let's not get it twisted. But it's good to have some stability and be able to have these guys back. So, we'll get into it. At any point, if you do enjoy this, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. I have people over on YouTube. I have people over on Kick. After this live stream is up, however, we are heading over to Kick to do an exclusive all 22 watch party. So if you want to be a part of that, definitely be sure to head over there after this live stream. But right now, let's talk about it, because the title is, how much is the arrow pointing up for the Rams? And I think that's a fair question to ask. Shout out to Rams Tapes, by the way, in the comments section. I see that you just donated $10 to the cause, and I appreciate you. Appreciate your support as always, my friend, and that means a lot. I would read it, but you put up it looks like it's an emoji, so there's no comment to read, but I appreciate you big time. So yeah, guys, I really want to talk about that. How much is the arrow pointing up for the Rams? Because I think when you look at last week, it's very easy to get caught up in the idea that, one, there's a narrative going around the Rams didn't deserve the game at all, and it was a fluke, which you have to understand. Everything had to go the Rams' way, but when I say everything had to go the Rams' way, they also had to make things happen on their own. So I think really you have to kind of find a happy medium between, wow, they got lucky, they had a missed field goal, they had some drops, they had a missed read where the guy was wide open, but then also they handled business as well. They don't win the game if they don't make any of those things. If they don't, do that the fake punt, they decide not to do that, they might not have won. If they decide to do that like they did, but they miss it, they definitely lose. So I think there's a lot of things that go into it. Really wanted to say that. So I'll just, we're going to get into it. I'm going to get into the Bears, why I think that you should feel good about this weekend, but I'm not going to guarantee wins ever again after the Cardinals game. We've learned our lesson there. So there's that. And I just want to say real quick, because, again, just really appreciate you guys and everything you're doing. We just continue to grow. Like, we're almost at 28,000 subscribers, and there's just been like this activity that I'm really excited about. So we'll see, as we continue to add more people to the clan, to the group, to the community. We'll see. I mean, in the description, we have a link to our Discord, and the Discord's free. So if you want to check that out, we have over 1,000 people in there. You guys have done a great job. And also, just letting you guys know, today's sponsor of the live stream is PrizePicks, which you see now below. You can sign up using my promo code JKBogan and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup over on PrizePicks. And let's not waste any time. Let's dive into this thing a little bit, because if you haven't signed up yet for PrizePicks, or you have, well, I'm going to try and give you some advice when it comes, or at least look over when it comes to this. So let's talk about it, right? So here we have PrizePicks. We're looking at, some projections here. More or less is where you're going to go with. It's how you play the game. Choose 2 to 6 of these, And so I'm looking at Colby Parkinson. I'm kind of staying away from him. I think the Bears have done a really nice job, defending tight ends throughout the year. And so I'm not necessarily, I know it's only 3 games, but I'm not necessarily jumping for joy over Parkinson's matchup. They got some really good linebackers that you have to look out for. And, we'll talk about them. But I'm going to avoid all of the Parkinson stuff here. I'm not putting less. I'm not putting more. I'm just going to avoid this right here. Even the 28.5 receptions as receiving yards, I just don't love it. I really don't. It might come back to haunt me, and maybe some people do. And I've seen some people that are very high on Colby Parkinson's output this week. I'm not one of those people. So let's just start off by saying that. I think that there are other places you can go, other, more value that you can find. And Parkinson's not one of those guys. So now we look here, and you got 5.5 receiving targets for Demarcus Robinson. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Demarcus Robinson's going to have more usage than he did last week. So I think all of these are in play, except maybe I wouldn't go with the anytime touchdown there. Maybe longest reception, maybe not. But I'd probably lean towards these two, the 40.5 receiving yards, the 9 fantasy score. I like Whittington's more for 23.5 receiving yards there. Josh Carty, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. I think he'll be active. I think Kyron Williams is a really good play here. This doesn't really worry me at all. I think Williams is going to be able to run the football. The Bears have been able, they've given up the ground game a little bit. It's their passing attack, their pass defense that has been really good as of late. So I do think if you're looking at this, I think Kyron's a safe bet here. Plus you have the Caleb Williams 0.5 gimme that I have to, of course, mention. And then, Stafford, I think this is 42.7K. I guess this is a really hot pick here. A lot of people are picking the more on this one. So that's a good thing. I think Stafford easily goes over that. And then you look at Tutu Atwell, and I like all of the more for Tutu Atwell. I like more 8.5 fantasy score. I like more 4.5 receiving targets. I definitely like more than 38.5 receiving yards than this stuff. I mean, of course, I like that. Tyler Johnson, I would take less than 26.5 receiving yards. Maybe not touch this one, and maybe not this one, but I would take less there. So if you want to do that, definitely go and check out PrizePicks using my code JKBogan. It's not only going to get you hooked up with PrizePicks, it's going to get you hooked up with $50 when you play your first $5 lineup, win or lose, and you'll have access to the Caleb Williams gimme, which we can find right up here. It's going to be in the popular section right here. As you can see, 503.1 thousand, and you have until the game. So this is the last one of the year, I believe. The last one of the month. We'll see what other gimme they have, if they have one. But you got to get in on this because this is a great deal. So anyway, PrizePicks, run your game. Appreciate you guys for sponsoring as always. So let's talk about it, right? Got the injury report right here. Jordan Rodriguez posted it. So let's go over the injury report. So we got Cooper Kupp is the only one that's out. You see Davis Allen's questionable. We'll see if he plays or not. He was a full participant on Friday. That's a good sign. Logan Bruss, we all saw the dislocated finger during the game. Unless you didn't. Well, he dislocated his finger during the game. He's a full participant the whole week, so he's good. Tre'Davious White had a rest day. Rob Havenstein had a rest day. And then Alec Jackson was limited with a knee, but they're just like, yeah, he's playing. So that's good. Very good stuff there. Good to hear. Sounds like this is a clean bill of health. Cooper Kupp being out is fine. He could be back next week. If not, it's going to be after the bye. And you could say what you will about them wasting a roster spot on a guy that can't play for 4 weeks. But if that does happen and it just turns out, oh crap, we weren't able to get Cooper Kupp back, and didn't end up using the IR and he ended up missing more than 4 weeks, I'll tell you this right now, you just saved a spot. Because you can only take 8 guys off of the IR and designate them to return. So this is playing into their favor, I think. So we'll see. The Bears are pretty banged up, okay? You have a lot of DNPs here. Zach Pickens, Terrell Smith, Darrell Taylor, the edge defender there who they got from Seattle. Darnell Wright, the right tackle. Now all these guys, for the most part, are pretty much good, except Terrell Smith, very talented cornerback. He is out, and so is Zach Pickens, a talented interior defensive lineman. Keenan Allen, I feel like he's going to play, but this will be more of a game time decision. So will Andrew Billings, who helps in the run game. And then Kevin Byard is questionable as well. Very talented player in the back end of the secondary. We'll see what ends up happening. He has a really nice tandem with him and, of course, Jaquan Brisker. The rest of the guys are good to go. So that is the injury report. And now, courtesy of PFF, here's the little lineup graphic we have here. Hopefully you guys see that and you can see that well. I'm trying to give you a little bit more of an innovative live stream because normally I don't use a lot of visuals and you guys probably get bored just looking at my face. So looking at the Bears offense, you have Caleb Williams. Obviously, you guys know Caleb Williams for the most part. Most of you do that watched him at USC or watched him, while you were rooting for one of the other Pac-12 teams. So Caleb Williams, I don't have to tell you, can make plays off script. In that same mold of like a Kyler Murray, and of course, like Brock Purdy, a guy that can get out in space. So he's going to give the Rams fits in the sense just by moving around. Now, there's an opportunity here because Caleb Williams is throwing the ball up. Like this last game, he threw over 360 yards against the Colts. He is putting the ball in the air, and that's going to give the Rams an opportunity to be opportunistic and make a play on the football. Now you got DeAndre Swift, who last year was great for Philly. They went out and they upgraded and got I keep saying Kyren Williams. I don't know. I guess he's the guy of the day. He's the player of the day. But anyway, they upgraded and got Saquon Barkley. And DeAndre Swift, there's already been kind of reports coming out that Roschon Johnson, the second-year man out of Texas, is going to get more of a look this week, an extended look. So we'll see. DeAndre Swift is currently averaging 1.8 yards per carry. I thought the Rams did a nice job bottling up, for the most part, Jordan Mason, who had a lot of success in the first two games. They did a nice job against the 49ers, holding him to 4.1 yards per carry. Then you look at the wide receivers. We just talked about Keenan Allen being questionable and being essentially a game time decision. DJ Moore is still DJ Moore. You got Cole Kmet, who is one of the best tight ends in football this year. You got Rome Odunze, who's finally getting comfortable. He's being utilized in the passing attack, so that's something to keep in mind. The offensive line, this is Braxton Jones. You got Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, the Rams know a lot about. Matt Pryor is filling in for the injured Nate Davis, and then you have Darnell Wright. Wright's been struggling. This is year 2 for him, a former first-round pick, a high first-round pick, not quite doing what they wanted him to do, so he's struggled. And this is a guy I've been a big fan of, Braxton Jones. He's been struggling as well. So this is an offensive line that has really had Caleb Williams running for his life. They gave up 6 sacks against Houston. They gave up 4 last week against Indy, and they gave up 2 in the first week. So I think for a team that has not been able to get home on the quarterback and actually finish sacks, this might be the move, in my opinion. This might be the move for the Rams if you're looking for guys like Jared Verse to get going as pass rushers and finish these sacks. Well, this is the week that they should be able to do that against this front because they've been really struggling. You look at the Rams defense, of course, this is their alignment. I don't really have to tell you too much about them. That you pretty much know them pretty well, but that's how that looks. And then the Bears defense here, of course, you have the Rams offense. They have Robinson, Whittington, and Johnson as the starters. Although I think we're going to see a lot of Tutu Atwell this week, and I think he's going to kind of emerge as the starter. He might not start the game. He's going to emerge as the starter. Alaric Jackson, Logan Bruss, I'd imagine, is going to get his second start at left guard. I thought he played really well down the stretch of the second game or the second half last week. Bo Limmer, he's been playing pretty well. I don't really look too much about the grades. It's just to give you kind of the visual. Don't focus too much on the grades. The grades are very subjective, and I just don't always agree with most of them. Offensive line, I guess, is better than some of them, but I still don't love these grades. Now, on the Bears side, the defense, you have Jalen Johnson, who I believe is the best cornerback in football. You got Tyreek Stevenson, who gave up 10 touchdowns last year, but it looks a lot better. We're actually going to put this not in base. We're going to have this in nickel. So you get to see Kyler Gordon there, who has really, in my opinion, looked really good through the first 3 games. He struggled last year. So you have those guys. Then you have, of course, Darrell Taylor off the edge, who's having a pretty solid year. Montez Sweat, don't have to tell you about him. For a while, I think we did we did like 3 videos in the history of this channel on Montez Sweat coming to the Rams. Jervon Dexter is going to be in the interior there, as well as Deshaun Walker. And then you have the linebackers that are very talented. You got Edwards from the Eagles that they signed 2 years ago out of Wisconsin, TJ Edwards. And you got, of course, Tremaine Edmonds, who they signed in free agency when he left the Bills. Now, these guys are young. These guys are athletic. They're heady. They're good football players. It's why I wouldn't, I was saying earlier with PrizePicks, I wouldn't worry too much about Parkinson this week. I don't necessarily think he's going to have a serious role with these guys, kind of in charge. And then you have these safeties, of course, that could also help in defending, the tight end, whether that's Jaquan Brisker, who's a very fun player to watch on tape, and Kevin Byard, who I think fits his defense really well. Let us not forget, okay, this is a defensive-minded team with a defensive-minded coach in Matt Eberflus, who now is calling plays again. So a lot of people forgot Eberflus is somebody that came from the Indianapolis Colts and was, to be honest with you, he was an absolute stud. It's why he became a head coach. So I think we forget about that a lot because he hasn't been great as a head coach. But that defense, with him now calling plays and committing to calling plays, you could see that defense end up doing something. The one thing I will say is that, with the Bears defense, they haven't really gone up against really anybody. I mean, you could say CJ Stroud and the Texans, but how good are they going to be this year? Is this a sophomore slump for them? I don't know, but they looked really bad against Brian Flores' Vikings defense, okay? I'm just going to tell you that right now. But in addition to that, the Bears start off the year against Will Levis and the Titans, okay? So that wasn't a really tough matchup. It really wasn't, right? And then last week against Anthony Richardson, I love his skill set, but this is still somebody that, end of the day, he's having a hard time not turning the ball over. He makes poor decisions. Love the guy, swear by the guy. I think he's going to be a really good football player, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest with you. I do think it is a concern how often he turns over the football. So, with that being said, I think that there is a lot to feel good about going into this game. I think the Rams have a lot of advantages. They have a better coaching staff, quarterback. They lose in the wide receiver market, obviously, with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp out. And just they have great receivers over there in Chicago. Running back, I would take the Rams. I'd take the Bears tight ends. I'd take the Rams offensive line any day, and so would the Bears. I would take the Rams defensive front. I would take the Bears linebackers. I'd take the Bears corners. And I'd take the Rams. I'd take the Bears safeties. Okay, so really, the Bears have better safeties, linebackers, corners, and then they have better wide receivers and tight ends. But for the most part, everything else I'd say is pro Rams there. DHP, thank you so much for the 10. If you can send info to the team, bring back gold uniform and white pants the Rams have in the 60-70. The Rams used it in 95 season with running back Bettis. I can send word. I don't know if they're going to listen to me, but I've been saying for a while I wanted that, yellow, the soul jersey. I always thought that would look cool. And then add like a white pant so you can go like white on white when you use the modern throwbacks. They have not done that. We'll see what they do next year. I believe there's a new uniform coming out next year. We'll see. But I think it's just an alternate. I don't think they're doing a whole rebrand. That's not what I've been told. So, again, we'll see. But yeah, folks, I think going into this game, I think the Rams, they're going to pound the football. I think they're really going to run the football at Kyren Williams. They had some, positive momentum, some positive, strides moving forward in the run game. I don't think they want to just kind of throw that away. I think it's important for them. So I am expecting them to pound the rock, so to speak. And in addition to that, I don't know if you'll see, truthfully, I don't know if you'll see Blake Corum. I don't. But I'll tell you right now, I do believe that you are going to see more play action. The Rams ran play action last week, and they had success doing so. And I'm going to bring up, I think it was Blaine Grisack, of course. I'm going to bring up his tweet because I want to give him credit for it. I thought it was very good. It was on that. Okay, here it is. So we have the tweet here. let's see. I'll just close that. Okay, so the tweet here. It will be interesting to see if the Rams continue to utilize play action this week. The Rams had ranked 9th in EPA and passes out of play action. Meanwhile, the Bears have defended play action the best this season. Interesting. Chicago is allowing a negative 0.46 EPA per play action drop back. So let's add some context to this. I think this is a great thing that Blaine brought up, but let's add some context, okay? First off, let's talk about it. They're really good against play action. Well, who are the running backs? That's what we got to know right away. I think the Titans, you could say, have a running game. They have Tony Pollard and they have Tajay Spears. That's good. But who's the quarterback? It's Will Levis. And it's EPA expected points added. Will Levis has been terrible to start the season. So, of course, his expected points added, regardless of who your defense is not going to look great. Okay? It's just not. So that's something to keep in mind. 1 second here. I was trying to add you guys as a moderator over on Kick, but apparently I can't do that. I don't know. They're not giving me the ability to do that. So is what it is. But yeah, so Will Levis, strike one, right? Because I think any defense is going to beat him up right now. So I'm not going to say that, the EPA per play action drop back. I'm not going to give Will Levis the benefit of the doubt. So Bears, strike one. But two, against the Texans, running back was out. It was Cam Akers was their leading rusher. He was supposed to be, their third or fourth string running back this year. I don't know, right? CJ Stroud has been kind of disappointing as of late. I'd say strike on that. And then Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor, you have an argument. You do. You have an argument. Jonathan Taylor went over 120 yards rushing, and Anthony Richardson can throw the football. He's made poor decisions, but I think you have an argument there. So the context that I would have here, the thing that I would lean towards is you go back to this tweet from Blaine, right? I would say for the most part, it's an interesting thing to bring up, but I don't think this translates. They have defended the play action the best in the league this season. This is a stat. I'm not making that up. But I don't think it translates that well when you think about how flawed it is, considering they went up against Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, who are two inexperienced quarterbacks, and CJ Stroud without Joe Mixon. So that's what I'll say there. But I wanted to give him a shout out because I thought the tweet was cool. Jay, thank you so much for the 5. Hey, Jake, what's the chances Kello gets called up? If he does, you think he starts or plays a lot? So I'm glad you guys brought it up. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I think Kello's going to play. Okay, I'm not saying he'll start, but he's going to play. He's going to get called up. We're waiting on the official word, but I've been told he's going to get called up. So what Sean McVay mentioned today, that just use your context clues there. What Sean McVay is talking about, that's basically it. When Sean McVay is saying, he's a candidate, it's happening, right? So he's a candidate, but he's definitely called up. But, how big is his role going to be? Not sure. I'll tell you right now, he's probably, as it stands right now, the best corner on the team. I think there's a chance that you could make the argument right now the other guys know more about the defense. It is a little bit different from last year. But I think Kello would make a huge improvement for this defense, in my opinion. Absolutely. And the thing I think is kind of forgotten about or not really realized when it comes to Ahkello Witherspoon's game, guys, is that Ahkello Witherspoon, at the end of the day, he doesn't only have to play corner. He's a heady player. He's very smart. He's very athletic. Guy ran a 4.3, right? He's 6'4", 6'3", around that. He's around 200 pounds. He can play safety. He could play star. He's a smart player. This guy's wicked smart. So I think that there are different options that they have there. I don't know necessarily if they go that route. I don't know if they'll use him as in the star role. I really don't know. But I'll tell you right now, he's capable of it. Absolutely is he capable of it. So, yeah, that's what I'd say there. And Bears Talk Underground, I was on that podcast, Jack. The link, I just actually retweeted it. The link is on my Twitter. So if you go to my Twitter at JKBogan, the link is the last thing the last thing that I retweeted. So D-Will might be, but I mean right now D-Will's injured. So as it stands right now, the guys that can play, I think Akello's the best corner. And I think that Kobe Durant has taken some positive strides forward where he could end up being a problem in a good way. A problem to other people, not to the Rams. So that's Jack. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Setup looks clean. I appreciate that. I did add the Derek Jeter bobblehead. I haven't opened it because I don't know. Am I supposed to open these things? Is anyone a bobblehead enthusiast, by the way? I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to open that. It says limited edition. They gave it to me at Yankee Stadium. I don't know if it's like supposed to be worth a lot if you keep it in the box. I mean, I got my Bill Self bobblehead right here, but you can barely see that because I'm a huge Kansas fan, as you guys know. Kansas banner. So, yeah. I mean, you can't even see the bobblehead. I don't even know why it's there, but my, yeah. And then this, of course, because people ask me all the time, what are these things? Basically, this is my favorite band. Maybe their two best records, but I don't know for sure. One of them, I think it is their best, but I go back and forth. I can't really make up my mind. But they're autographed and everything by the band, so that's what those are. So yeah, my setup is really just kind of everything that I'm interested in, and I'm working on some cool stuff. Let's just say I'm working on a cool little thing where if you like that, you might be interested in what I'm working on. Let's just leave it at that. But things are great right now, and things can be a lot better if the Rams come home with the W. They can get back to 2-2, and then of course you're talking about being 500. You go back to SoFi. You're playing the Packers. I understand the Packers have been a problem to the Rams. I get that. But the Rams also hadn't played the Packers in LA since I went in 2018, and they won that game. It doesn't matter how they won. I could tell you how they won if you'd like to. Ty Montgomery fumbled the football on the kickoff, and the Rams got it. Otherwise, we would have watched Aaron Rodgers get to march down the field and get a field goal to win the game. So there's that. That was the one where I'm sure, you Rams fans out there, your friends that don't like the Rams that were just betting on the game or had Todd Gurley on their fantasy team were texting you up and down like, how could Todd Gurley go down like that at the 1 yard line or whatever? It's like, well, they're trying to win the game, and it literally ends the game if they do that. But yeah, good times. Anyway, my point, the Packers have played the Rams like 3 straight times in Green Bay. Okay, so let's just be honest here. It's not getting the monkey off your back. I don't think it's the same thing. The Packers have given them problems in Green Bay. Okay, they haven't really played in LA. And you could say what you will. Yeah, Packers fans are going to represent. When I was there in 2018, Packers fans were very evident. Okay, they were clearly all there. And I would probably say it was 60-30 Packers. That's not math. Never mind. That is 60-40 Packers, maybe 70-30 Packers if we're being honest. But that didn't stop the Rams from winning that ball game, right? That was a fun game too. I mean, you go back, you look at Corey Littleton getting sacks on Aaron Rodgers. Corey Littleton, Donald just torched Aaron Rodgers. They were in the backfield all day. So, yeah, I remember like it was yesterday being at the Collie and just seeing, I was sitting there next to my father and my best friend, and there's a sea of Packers fans. So, I don't think it'll be like the 49er game, but you will have more Packers fans for sure. And they travel well. So it is what it is. Plus around this time, I think the benefit for the Rams is that the Dodgers are going to be off. So this Sunday, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong now I think about it. I hate being wrong. Not really. I don't really care that much. But the Dodgers, if I'm not mistaken, they do probably play on the 29th. Let's see. Let's just see. And are they playing in LA? No, they're not. They're playing in Colorado. So they finish out the year in Colorado, which means, oh wait, never mind. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean literally anything. I'm dumb. Don't even listen to me. I don't know why you're listening to me at this point. Bro thought he was cooking and he wasn't cooking anything. We're talking about the Packers game, not this weekend. We're talking about October 6th. The Dodgers are going to play October 6th in the NLDS. So they would play game 2 of the NLDS. So that will probably affect the Rams game. That probably will affect the Rams game. We'll see what happens, but yeah, they're going to be playing. So Rams might not have the attendance that they want. That's just the reality of it. That's like my real life cooking. Oh, man. T-Mill, appreciate that. Jake putting in work, appreciate you. I don't know why. I just want other options at cornerback in general. Rams should have went a different route in the offseason. I get it. I mean, they kind of did when you think about it. They did go a different route. They signed Tre'Davious White, right? So they did go a different route. They brought back Darius Williams. I didn't expect them to go that route at all. I didn't think they would spend in free agency, if I'm being honest with you. So I was a little surprised by that. Who let this man cook? What games am I going to, SoCal? I'm going to the Eagles game at SoFi. That's the plan right now in November. And the Jets game in December. What section? I don't remember exactly. You'd have to ask Ruiz. I don't remember exactly. I'll have more details on that as we get closer. Yeah, so I think going into this game, things that you should feel good about. Ahkello Witherspoon's going to play. I think he's going to play. I feel really good saying he's going to play. I think you should feel good about the fact that the Rams come in this game. They had just established the run last week with Kyren Williams. They got him utilized in the passing game, which is great because Kyren Williams needs to be utilized more in the passing game. Let's just be honest with you. Let's also talk about Tutu Atwell. They got him going in the passing game, so that's good. Stafford is going to have back-to-back games with the same offensive line. He hasn't been able to say that all year. All year. That's pretty crazy when you think about it, right? So he's going to have back-to-back games with the same offensive line. You have potentially everyone back at tight end, which helps. You started utilizing a little bit more 12 personnel grouping, which is good. You started using more play action, which is good. Defense had 27 pressures last week. They're going up against an offensive line that gives up pressures to bad defenses. So the Rams, they're getting a ton of pressure without blitzing. I don't know if you guys are aware of how much pressure they're getting without blitzing, but it's impressive. I mean, they're one of the best teams at, getting pressure, if we're being honest. So last week, you get 7 pressures out of Kobe Turner. You get 7 pressures out of Braden Fisk. And everyone's talking about, oh, well, now you got to get Jared Verse. He's got to be able to finish, right? Jared Verse is going up against a team that gives up sacks. That's just the reality of it. Caleb Williams has been sacked 13 times, guys. This is the game for Jared Verse to build his confidence to new heights. Will you see the same linebackers? Probably. Will you see the same cornerbacks? I don't know. I don't know if Kello's going to... I don't think he'll start, but he might. I think the safety room is interesting. And this is an opportunity. Like I said, Caleb Williams is going to be just tossing the rock all over the place. I think this is a really good opportunity for, a young safety that has ball skills going back to college like Cameron Kinchins. He's struggled, but if he can get a hold of one of those interceptions, I think he'd feel really good. The confidence would be there. Matthew, thank you so much for the 20, my friend. What the hell y'all cooking? I'm kind of hungry. Good evening, Jake. I'm not cooking anything. Bro can't cook over here. with what I was saying about the Packers games. Like, I don't even remember what. No, it was the Dodgers. I just was like totally messed up. So I was like, yeah, just can't cook anything. When will Alexis Kraft go live? Great question. She's very busy right now. I can tell you that. So she's really only has the bandwidth right now to really do DTR, but I keep getting on her to go live. So there's that. Carlos, I gotta disagree with you here. I don't think their defense is not terrible. I think when you look at, the way they played against the 49ers to start the game, that was tough, but I thought they finished it well. I think you look at the running game, and they did a really nice job of holding Jordan Mason in check. I mean, this is somebody that could have given him problems. I say it all the time, guys. When a quarterback takes off and runs, that's not an attack. That's a defense. And because it's not an attack and it's a defense, means it's not the run game. You can't tell me that the Rams struggled stopping Brock Purdy on the ground when all of his runs were non-designed quarterback runs, okay? They were all defense runs where you attack as the blitzer or the pass rusher, and now Brock Purdy as his defense is running away from pressure. That is not at all a run game. That's not running the football. He's scrambling. I mean, if anything, it's part of the passing game. But that, I don't look at like when you can't stop the run. I'm talking about the handoffs. I'm talking about the toss plays. I'm talking about the inside, the outside zone, all of that. That's, to me, the run game. And they did a nice job of stopping the run game because Jordan Mason came into that game with a head full of steam. This is a guy that breaks tackles most in the league for a running back. And now you're telling me, okay, well, this team just gave up the most broken tackles last week, has missed more tackles than any other team. And I thought they did a nice job bottling up Jordan Mason to the best of their ability. Now, I understand the frustration, Carlos, with the defense. Totally get it. But I actually think they have a lot of upside, a lot of talent. And I was going to do a Jared Verse video this week, kind of breaking down his film. We're doing a film breakdown after this anyway over on kick.com. So, guys, definitely just don't waste any time. If you haven't already signed up for Kick and followed me on there, I have 933 people following me. Well, I'll tell you right now, that is where we're going to be doing the live stream. So when we do any film breakdown or anything, the message, of course, is pinned in the live chat on YouTube. And for the Kick users right now, they know. After this, we are going to do a watch party with the All 22. Okay, so if you want to be a part of that, I can only do that on Kick because YouTube will copyright claim me, right? So that's just the reality of it. Let's see. SoFi is going to be the selection. LA is the top tourist destination along with SoFi. Yeah, you're right. It's a great point, Alex. Imagine you only have enough money to travel, see one game in the season. Of course, SoFi is going to be the selection. LA is already a top tourist destination along with SoFi being the newest stadium. I think that's also, it definitely comes into play. I think also having a fan base like the Green Bay Packers have, I mean, they're going to move. They're going to go to games. That's just the way it is. Jake, you feel good with the Rams inside linebacker? If the Niners would have kept running the ball, that game would have been over. Do I think Shula's the problem? No, I think so this is what the Rams this is what the Rams defense is. They're an inexperienced, overzealous, potentially dangerous bunch. Okay? This is an inexperienced defense. They got a lot of, newbies, if you will. They also have some experience. I'm not going to sit here and act like Cam Curl is inexperienced. He's a very, very good player. I would argue Pro Bowl level safety. And I'm not going to sit here and say Troy Reader is inexperienced because he started in the Super Bowl, right? But Kobe Turner's in his second year being asked to be captain. Bobby Brown is the youngest of all of those guys on the defensive line. And, he's a contributor on this team. And Braden Fisk is a rookie that didn't play any preseason. Neither did Jared Verse. Byron Young is a second-year player. So you have a lot of youth. And then you have Neville Gallimore who's playing a little bit more. And he's got experience, right? But you look at, the linebackers. Christian Roseboom last year, he's a second-year starter. Last year was his first year starting. Corners, you have experience with Trey White. Trey White's also been really injured over the last 3 years. He's had 2 of the major injuries that you don't want to have, torn ACL and a torn Achilles that he was coming off of. So I think first off, we got to, give that credit there. Kobe Durant in year 3. And then the safeties, now that John Johnson's down, who was kind of, I thought, the leader of that defense in a sense, at least the back end of it. Now with him down, you're down to Cameron Kinchins. Quentin Lake is still young. This is a very, very young defense that does not have an Aaron Donald, that does not have a Jalen Ramsey. And so because of that, you're going to see the things that come with youth, right? You're going to see, more stamina. You're going to see more energy. You're going to see some fire, but you're also going to see miscues. You're going to see missed tackles. You're going to see them show up sometimes and have a game where you're like, yeah, that they just put together a stinker, That's that. Yes, Battle. They do have an app. The Kick does have an app on all platforms. So Apple and Google Play, they do have an app for that. Yep. Matthew, thank you for the 5. Red Fisk and Verse were 1 and 2 in quarterback pressures for rookies. So when it clicks, exactly. And I said this on DTR, and I meant this. I like using this because, one, when I was talking to Kello's dad, Lucky, we were talking about Justin Fields. We were talking about quarterbacks around the league. And, he brought up the idea, like, look, Justin Fields, the biggest issue with him is people acted like, oh, yeah, he's overthrowing everyone. And he's like, well, I look at that and I see a kid that, yeah, he's overthrowing everyone now, but that means he has it. He's capable of having the arm strength to make any throw. And over time, he's going to learn patience. He's going to learn touch. He's going to learn accuracy, which is happening in real time in Pittsburgh right now. This is what's happening with Justin Fields. Well, the reason I brought that up, because I thought what he said was spot on, is because I think it applies to Jared Verse. I think it applies to a Braden Fisk. When you look at these guys, these are guys that, yeah, they didn't play a preseason game. They're very athletic players, and they've whiffed on some sacks. They've whiffed on some tackles. They've whiffed on plays in the run. But the reality is, at some point, things are going to click, like Matthew's saying. Again, thank you for the 5. And when it does, it's going to be fun to watch. Because I think we so much focus young defense, unproven, rookie defensive coordinator. We focus on all the bad. And I saw that firsthand. I made the video about Troy Reader and Christian Roseboom playing their tail off. And I got so many comments saying they were trash, they were garbage, you have no idea what you're watching. And I think more often than not, I think when you're talking about inexperience, you're talking about unproven talent, people tend to lean towards the idea of being pessimistic, just assuming the worst. And so I think lost in translation are plays like the ones that Verse and Braden Fisk made, and that's just the reality of it. So I think you got to give a lot of credit to those guys because they have it, okay? The front office didn't whiff, right? They drafted Jared Verse. They drafted Braden Fisk. They traded up 12 spots to get him, gave up a second rounder next year to secure Braden Fisk. And I think the important thing to understand here is they have it. You're not sitting there wondering, oh man, Jared Verse, he can't win one-on-one. He never creates any pressure. He's getting just completely stonewalled at the point of attack. Guess what, folks? That's not happening at all. Jared Verse has beaten Trent Williams quite a bit. He's beaten Taylor Decker, and he beat Paris Johnson. There's a lot of good to take away from Jared Verse. Now, he can't finish sacks right now. Time is going to slow down for him. The game's going to slow down. The more and more you continue to do things, the more and more you put together a routine. And trust me when I say, Jared Verse, his time is coming, and it could very well be this weekend. I think everything is aligned right now for him to really go off. And the reason I say that, he missed 4 sacks last week, right? He had 4 missed tackles. This week, this is a team that's given up 13 in 3 games. So if you don't think the Rams are going to get in there and be able to bring down Caleb Williams, then I don't know what to tell you. But that is not a concern of mine because these guys had the skill set for it. It'd be one thing if we're talking about Jared Verse, like, wow, he's getting stonewalled by Decker. He's getting stonewalled by Trent Williams, which I guess I would understand. He's getting stonewalled by Paris Johnson. He's getting stonewalled this weekend by Braxton Jones. Like, if that was happening, I think that would be a problem. But Jared Verse has no problem. If your problem is he can't finish sacks, well, guess what? It means he's capable of getting there. He's going to be able to do it. And when he does it, he's going to be dominant. His win rate is over 20%. It's one of the best in the league. It was higher than Micah Parsons going into yesterday. It was higher than most players. Okay, it's right. I think Von Miller's up there, right? We're talking about big names that Verse is flirting around, and I think that's the type of player he's going to become. And the great thing is, I think we have, you've seen it. They have great coaching, and they have a great support system for him. So I feel really good, ultimately, about Jared Verse. And I'm not worried at all that he hasn't been able to finish sacks because it's going to come. And when it does, it's going to be explosive. I'm telling you that right now. Long this, thank you so much for the 20. I get the Rams don't value the linebacker position, but one stud linebacker makes sense. Totally agree with you. I don't necessarily agree with not valuing the linebacker position. I think a lot of it has to do with their personnel. I don't necessarily think they don't value it. I think they just really like having kind of that. I know they call him the star and people call him the nickel. It's more like a dime backer, because what you have is basically a linebacker masquerading as, kind of a safety. You have a safety line masquerading as a linebacker, and even like a slot corner, but more of a bigger slot corner. So I do feel like guys that fit that bill, Cam Curl, Quentin Lake, John Johnson could even. I think Akello could fit that. Will they change their approach? I think it's possible. Like, if this year the one takeaway is, wow, the linebackers really held us back and we didn't accomplish what we wanted to because of the linebackers, then yeah, I do think things will change and we will see kind of a change in a shift in their ideology and maybe their philosophy. The reason I bring that up is because the Rams have done that, right? They were a wide outside zone run scheme, right? That's what they were. They were that with Todd Gurley. Well, over time, they started to be more of an inside. Now they're using duo. They're running. This week was a bad example. They ran all sorts of different run plays and whatnot. But the point I'm making is that they will change things up. The Super Bowl season, we're talking about how this team's going to score 500 plus points. They're going to be the best offense in the league. And while it seemed like that at first, and definitely seemed like that against the Bears week 1, seemed like that, by the way, the last time the Rams played the Bears, was 2021. Yeah. The Van Jefferson touchdown, second play of the game. It's when you knew Matthew Stafford was legit. But I think the point I'm really trying to make here is that, you look at the Bears game, you look at the Bucs game, those games at the beginning of the year, you saw this team being the best offense in football, right? High octane passing attack. But what isn't talked about is how at some point or another, Sean McVay realized we can't do that. Like, it was later on in the year and they went with a 12, even 13 personnel, and they just had Sony Michel running the football. Okay, that game against the Vikings, Sony Michel, right? Just had Sony Michel tote the rock. That was what they did. And the reason I bring that up is because they changed their mind. This is not a closed-minded front office. This is a front office that is willing to change its mind. They're willing to look at the data and build a new, consensus based on the data. They're willing to admit that not everything they do is 100% correct. That is a good quality to have. So I'm saying at some point or another, if the linebackers are determined that, this isn't going to work, we need better linebackers, the Rams will just go out and get better linebackers. I don't think this is just going to last forever. If they find we need to value the linebacker position a little bit more, they're going to do that. That's the good thing. You watch a team, you follow a team that cares about winning football games, that cares about winning, that cares about the audience, cares about its fans, cares about the product that they're putting on the field. Not every NFL team is like that. A lot of NFL teams, they're just playing they're like competing. What do they say? They're just doing cardio. Yep, there you go. Like, let's just be honest here. Jacksonville, do you think that's a great product on the field right now? I don't. The Browns, we all know Deshaun Watson starting in Cleveland because they paid him a lot of money. That's why. Hey, Deshaun Watson hasn't been good. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here, you know? Long list. Thank you so much for the 20 again. I appreciate that. One other thought. McVay doesn't play starters in preseason, yet the team starts injured. Time to rethink that. I don't know. I'd have to see some data that would back up, yeah, not playing starters this time and whatever leads to this. We don't have that data yet, so I can't just say because I guess recency bias would have you believe that. I can't agree with that. I know you're pretty much asking me the question there, but I would need some serious data thrown my way to show me, okay, we have a data set that goes back 10 years. And in those data sets, it took all the teams that sat all their players in the preseason and what they did and how injured they were. I don't think we'd see an overwhelming, oh my God, the analytics show that these guys get hurt all the time when you sit them. I don't think so. I don't think enough teams do it. So I think it'd be an inconclusive data set, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Whereas, like, I feel like that would have to be studied, and definitely have to be studied on my end before I could even commit to that. The only problem is I love these projects and I would totally do them, except where do I get that information? Like, where do I find the information to the point where it doesn't take me like months to put it together? And by that time, it's outdated. I guess that's kind of where I'm at there. It could be. Like, you're absolutely right. It could be, Jake. It absolutely could be playing in the preseason, not playing the preseason could be a big hurt thing. I don't know. I really don't for sure. But they've been doing it for a long time, and I just feel like it's either they're the healthiest team or they're one of the least healthiest teams based on, you know, what I've seen. So I don't know. I'd say it's inconclusive. I don't think we know for sure. The next Mandalorian says, I'm sorry to say it, boys, but the Bears got this one. Their defense is too good. Be that as it may, well, hold on a second, because I'm going to humor you here, okay? So I can't tell if you're trolling or not. I mean, I assume you're not, but let's talk about it. Bears defense gave up 2 rushing touchdowns and over 100 yards rushing for Jonathan Taylor last week. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing, Bears defense gave up over 130 yards receiving with Nico Collins in their loss against the Texans. So let's be honest here. And I mean, week 1 is probably not going to show much, but the Titans, yeah, I mean, Pollard ran 16 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Based on the Colts and the Texans, the Bears have given up some explosives. They've given up explosive running plays. They've given up explosive passing plays. So I don't know. Jake, don't ignore my comment. I just made you a focal point in the conversation. Quite the opposite of ignoring, I would say. Bears got this one 25-22. They'll end up kicking a 48-yard field goal to win it in 4 seconds left. You're terrified about this game. I'm not underestimating Caleb Williams, but I got to be honest with you. I thought the Bears would be better than how they've looked. I don't know. All right, so just want to let you guys know, if you haven't already, to like, subscribe, right? Your comments are delayed. No worries, no worries. I have it on a ultra low latency setting, but I just don't know what that is. Is that 10 seconds? Is it 15? Is it 5? Probably not 5. I would imagine that'd be brutal, but well, I'd be good, but you know, it's probably like 10. So I'll cut you a break. All right, have a good one, Chach. All right, guys. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. You can follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. Speaking of which, we are going to be moving over to Kick. Special thanks to our sponsor, PrizePicks. You can use promo code JKBogan to get $50 on your first $5 lineup. So when you sign up, use the code JKBogan. The link is also in the description below. Sign up, use the code, download the app and everything, and you're going to get $50. Regardless if you win or lose your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 right to your account. So definitely be sure to sign up with that. All 22 is going to happen. We're going to do what we did last time. As I wrap this live stream up, we are going to try and recruit people. So at this time, if you're on YouTube, which there are 203 of you right now, if you're on YouTube and you want to come on over and watch the Rams 49ers all 22 watch party, if you will, ask me questions throughout, hang out, have some fun, then you're going to want to join Kick today. There's an app, there's a website, it's free, takes 2 minutes, and just, you know, join. The link is in the description. It's in the comments section. It's in the live chat right now. It's pinned. Everyone go and be sure to sign up, because that is where our all 22 picks up. I would do it on YouTube, but they demonetize me. So I obviously don't want to get demonetized at all. It's tough since this is my career, so that would be bad. Love you too, Johan. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Jack. But yes, everyone go over to Kick. I'm going to hold on to this for a little bit longer before we start over there, but I want to get people following. When we get to 1,000 followers, we're at 934 over on Kick, but when we get to 1,000, I'm going to do something fun. So be sure to check that out. Let's see. Oh, along this, thank you so much for the 20. I just saw that. Verse and Fisk win, but they don't seem to break down and finish, hopefully this week. Yeah, and that's a great point, but it kind of goes along with what I was saying, is that you're going to see Jared Verse and Braden Fisk. Yeah, they're not getting home on those sacks now, but 7 pressures from Braden Fisk, leading all rookies. The game's going to slow down for these guys. They're not going to be playing like too fast where they're missing sacks. So I'm very excited for that, and I do think people should be as well. I think this could be the week that it just, you know how sacks come in bunches? That's what people always say. This is the week that's going to happen. Everyone, give Last Second Sports in the chat. I'm also going to make him a mod because I love that guy. That is Jesse, who is one of my hosts. He's a quarter, I guess, of the NFC West Roundtable. So everyone, a wild Jesse has appeared. I love it, Alex. So be sure to follow Jesse. He does fantastic 49ers coverage. And I understand people are probably like, why am I following a 49ers creator? Hey, let's be honest here. It's smart to be smart about your division. And the more you know, the better of a fan, the more informed fan that you can be. And Jesse puts out some of the best Niners content you're going to find, so you can keep up with the 49ers and everything. And yeah, love that guy. Jerry, thank you so much for the 5. Appreciate you. So yeah, guys, we're gonna be doing a watch party, all 22 live stream. It's Rams 49ers over on Kick. So if you are just getting here and you're wondering why I keep saying that, that is why. So I'm trying to get everyone to go over to Kick, follow the channel, and get ready, because we're gonna do the watch party. We're at 937 followers, got 17 people in there. So I'm trying to get as many people as I can over from YouTube to Kick right now. Obviously, I'm still doing YouTube, still gonna have all the videos and stuff. This isn't permanent. This is this is just an addition. So if you want that extra thing, well, there you go. So over on Kick, it's free. Takes 2 minutes to sign up, and it's probably less than that. But yeah, we're going to be doing the watch party for the All 22. Won't go too crazy with it. It's really just kind of, you know, we just hang out, we watch the tape, I give you my thoughts on plays, things that stand out. Maybe I freeze frame, whatever. But in addition to that, I also read comments and I do Q&As essentially. So it's kind of just a fun time. So again, that's going to be kick.com/JKBogan. Hey, how about that? Jesse said, appreciate y'all. Congrats to your Rams for a big win this past Sunday. See, this is what I mean. Just a wholesome dude. How do you put the volume up? That's a great question. There should be a volume riser that's next to the live button or the live tag or whatever on Kick. So, yeah, I don't know. Right now, I would say Tutu Atwell is wide receiver 2, but he's probably going to get wide receiver 1 targets. The wide receiver 1's DeMarcus Robinson. I'd go in order. It'd go Robinson, Tutu Atwell. I think Kyron gets the third most. And then Whittington and Johnson and Parkinson are kind of all in that little gray area there. But yeah, guys. I figure I'll keep this going for another minute or two. Start making your way over to Kick if you haven't already. That's where the rest of this stream is going to be. Of course, for the watch party, because I can't do all 22 on here because I will get copyright claimed and I will get demonetized, and I don't want any of that. That's too much of a headache. Sign with your Gmail, real easy. Yep, exactly. And I'll tell you one thing I like about Kick. When I signed up, I noticed when I signed up with Kick, I never get like crazy emails. They don't like spam me. When people go live, they'll send you an email, but that's if you have the notifications on. If you don't want notifications, they don't like spam you with stupid stuff. Ram DeLorean, do I think Whittington will be utilized more this game? I do. That's why I like the more on PrizePicks for 23.5 yards. T-Mill, I'm telling you right now that the Niners have a great community base. Like it's impressive. The creator base that they have. You got Jesse, you got Rob. I mean, you got Grant Cohn, you got Crocky, Eric Crocker. There's a lot of, I mean, there's ones that I'm forgetting, but you got a lot of good ones. Johnny Dell. A lot of creators, a lot of good creators. Crystal, yes, Crystal, there you go. She's a sweetheart. There's a lot of really nice creators that also know their stuff, which is a big deal. All right, 9:39. We got 23 viewers in there. Let's see. Can we get to 100 viewers? That'd be really cool. $940 now. Got 30 viewers. Let's see it. Let's try. Let's try this challenge. If I could get a conversion rate of over 50%, that'd be pretty cool. So we got, 30 viewers right now. So yeah, I want to see, asking for 70 more people. I know that's asking for a lot, but I want to see it. Kick, it takes maybe a minute. Maybe it doesn't even take 2 minutes. Oh, also, while I'm waiting for you guys to get over there, because I know there are people signing up actively right now, 941. Appreciate you guys. While we're waiting for people to sign up over there, I just want to let you guys know that over the bye week, okay, some of your favorite Rams content creators are going to be getting together. It's going to be a segment called the Illuma-Rammy, which was not I did not come up with that name. It was Chauncey Talesi over on Twitter. So shout out to him. He's always called us that, so it is what it is. But yeah, right now we have 7 people. So 7 of your favorite Rams creators, including myself, will be hosting a panel during the bye week where we talk about the Rams, maybe do some Q&A. So it should be a good time. So, you know, just get excited, get ready for that, because that'll be coming soon. That'll be in 2 weeks. And I can confirm, because I know people asked about D-Mac. D-Mac did confirm with me that he wants to be a part of it. So D-Mac will be a part of it from Locked On Rams. Because I know a lot of people are asking, hey, when are you going to do a collab with Doug? I was like, well, let's see. And he agreed to do it. So Doug will be there. Alexis will be there. Blaine will be there. Ian will be there. As you guys know, he called in on Sunday, so I gave him the news. And he agreed to it on the show. And then Rams Brothers. And I'm figuring things out. I mean, I would love to get everybody, but there's such a thing as too many cooks in the kitchen. And if I bring it on like 12 people, you know, if I bring on 12 people, guess what? 12 people have to talk. And if they talk over each other, it's going to sound terrible. So I'm going to try and run the panel. I'll give my thoughts, but I'll moderate it because I would talk the most. Let's be honest here. I'm not stupid. I know my power. So that'll be what we do. That'll be the direction we go in with that. 37 people now, still waiting on people to file in over on Kick because I'll be closing this live stream on YouTube. Battletune, what's up? Thank you. So yeah, 7 people I think is a good number. I might add one more, but I feel like people's feelings are going to get hurt. I'm not trying to say anybody's better than anybody. It's hard to really narrow it all down. Like, I have so many people that I have a lot of respect for that won't be able to make the panel because then we're talking about 20 people, and it's like, how do I figure out how to get everybody involved? So, you know, and maybe we look at doing it again, and maybe we do it with different people. I don't know, but when am I coming to LA? So the plan is, I want to say mid to late November for the Eagles game. That's the plan. So yeah, I'm just waiting on people to head on over to Kick. We are closing this live stream on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, we're going to be over on Kick. By the way, this isn't just a one-off thing. So if you're like, is this worth it? Should I sign up for Kick? Are you just doing this today? No, I'm going to be doing these weekly. So the Bears one will be next week. The one after will be the Packers. And then in addition to that, I'm going to be gaming on there as well. So it won't just be Rams, but that's why I keep it separate. So I'll be gaming on there. Yeah. And BC, yeah, they did win the division. Same day the Dodgers won the division. I saw a lot of Dodgers fans were excited about that. So, yep. Interesting. I don't know about Madden 25. I personally don't like Madden. Some other games. I might be the worst because I don't love sports games anymore. So my love for sports games has been gone for a while. 2K, I don't know. Maybe. If enough people request it, maybe. I don't really love 2K, but yeah. All right, folks, we're heading over to Kick. I'm wrapping this up. Last call. I'm going to switch over to Kick now. Rams versus 49ers. All 22 watch party. There we go. Yeah, Jared Verse is going to be on the all 22. So we'll talk about Jared Verse for sure. Got 41 people. Let's keep it going. What's up, Cup? How you doing? All right, last call, everyone, for YouTube. And if you're like, where do I sign up? Where do I go? Jokic1 is saying it takes 2 clicks if you sign up with Gmail. There you go. I'm stealing that. Sign up for Kick. It takes 2 clicks. $942 followers. 41 viewers. So yeah, I'm gonna head on over to Kick. I'm gonna end this stream on YouTube. I appreciate everyone who has supported the channel. I appreciate everyone who supported the stream today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on all social media at JKBogan. And of course, check out PrizePicks, today's sponsor of the live stream. You're gonna get $50 off. You're gonna get $50 in your account when you play your first $5 lineup, whether you win or lose. And that's using my code JKBogan, or you can use the description, the link in the description to sign up. And yeah, so I'll see you guys over on Kick. If I won't see you there, then I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks.